This is the water cycle. Who knows something about this that they want to share? Elin, you want to share?
That the water cycle, they have arrows to point where it goes. So
Yeah, the arrows point where our water goes. Does anyone else want to share something about this? Yes. Yeah, I saw both Audrey and Cadence now have raised their hand. Do you want to share, both of you?
Audrey.
In the water cycle, I see there's arrows pointing to what it shows of the water cycle.
Yes, the arrows are telling us the action, what's happening to our water. Great job, Audrey. Cadence, were you raising your hand before and want to share?
I learned about the water cycle in school. We had a passage to read and answer questions about it.
Ooh, so you're already an expert and can tell me a bunch of stuff about the water cycle and can use it. Yes. Okay. So we can see that water moves in our water cycle. We have snow and rain that come down in precipitation. And then it will form big puddles or pools of water or lakes. Will run off of slope until it's all in these big lakes. The water doesn't stay in the lakes though. Sometimes it goes back up into the sky. That's called evaporation. This is how we make clouds. Clouds are water vapor. Who here has ever seen steam rise off of a pot on the stove?
See steam coming off the pot on the stove, Audrey?
Yeah, this is when we put water in a big pot and we boil noodles like macaroni. You see steam, that's water vapor. That is water in a gas form, just like clouds. Our clouds are so filled with water that sometimes they'll leak the water back out. They can leak the liquid water in the form of rain or solid water in the form of snow. I know where I live, I just got a whole bunch of snow near me. That was a lot of precipitation. Did anyone else just get a bunch of snow near them? Yeah, I see that some of us got a lot of snow. Okay. Yes, Elin.
I was just raising my hand for the snow.
Yeah, you got snow too. Julia, you want to unmute yourself?
I have a question.
Yeah?
There's a type of paper that's on the list. I'm not sure what kind of paper that is.
Shredded paper. So that's if you have a piece of paper and you just rip it up.
Oh, like you can just rip it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay. To start today, we're going to think about how much water we use in everyday life. We need to get out our worksheet for today. This is a matching game. We're going to do a couple of these before we move on. So the first one we're going to do is taking a shower. We're going to read our numbers on our side of our sheet. We're going to think about how many gallons of water it takes when you take one shower. Do we think it takes 30 gallons? 180 gallons? Or something smaller, like 4 to 7 gallons or a half a gallon? Who wants to make a guess? Audrey does?
Cadence can help.
I think it will take 10 gallons.
Ooh, that's a great guess, Audrey. We're going to go around and see if anyone else has guesses before I let on the answer. Elin?
I think 100 gallons.
100 gallons. Oh, wow. Also a great guess. Who else wants to guess before we move on? Cadence does?
I think it takes 4 to 7 gallons.
47. Julia, what's your guess of how many gallons?
I think it's around 5 to 7 gallons.
5 to 7. Dean, did you want to guess how many gallons of water, like how many milk jugs of water it takes for you to take one shower?
I think it takes as long as it so it takes 3 gallons to take a shower.
Ooh, that's a great guess, Dean.
Or 10 gallons.
Okay. Cadence was actually the closest one to our answer. You said 47 gallons, right?
4 to 7 gallons.
It actually takes anywhere from 15 to 30 gallons of water. And that's only for a 15-minute shower. Does anyone know someone who takes long showers? They just want to stand inside the warm water for a while. You are then using even more than 30 gallons of water for one shower. Yeah, it's a lot of water. Think of how many milk jugs filled with water that would be. That's a lot. We want to be careful not to take super long showers because water is expensive and it takes a lot to filter it. If you waste water, then it can't be used for something else. Cadence.
I have a bit of trouble with that because I can't turn off, if I turn off the water while I'm waiting for the conditioner to soak into my hair, because it takes long because I have curly hair and I can only brush it when it's wet, then it takes a bit longer for me.
Yeah, so that's why we try to be quick on what we can. So that might be washing your body really quickly. And once you're in there, not singing a song and just standing under the water. We want to save our water. Okay. How many gallons of water do you think it takes to brush your teeth one time? Elin.
Maybe a half of a gallon.
Ooh, Elin says a half of a gallon. Who else has a guess? Dean does? What's your guess, Dean?
I think it takes as long as this microscope, so it's this much gallons of water.
Oh, you think that if you were to put that inside of a gallon of water? That's an interesting way to think about it. It's how far up a bottle. Cadence, what's your guess?
It's probably 1 to 2 gallons.
Cadence thinks 1 to 2 gallons. Audrey, did you want to guess?
I was thinking it would take, if you turned it off in the middle while you were brushing, I think it would take 2 gallons.
Maybe.
It's a great guess, Audrey. Julia, what's your guess?
I think it's like 2 to 5 gallons.
Ooh. I think Cadence was the closest person. She said 1 to 2 gallons. If we were to turn off the water when we brush our teeth, it takes 1 gallon of water just for one time of brushing our teeth. Let's visualize our milk container again. That's 1 full gallon. That much water is used just for brushing your teeth. If you don't turn off the water when you brush your teeth, you use even more. Use a lot more. Yeah. So we can see that our everyday activities use a lot of water. We have to save the water because we want the water in our lakes and our reservoirs for the creatures that live inside of them. Who knows what any of these creatures are? Audrey, you want to name one of these creatures?
An underwater lizard.
Ooh. So Audrey realizes that this is a reptile. Who wants to share more about this? Cadence does?
I think I see there's tadpoles.
Ooh. Cadence sees another picture right here where we have tadpoles. Dean, what do you see in the pictures?
So one of the pictures, they said lizard and tadpole. I see a clam.
Yeah, it's a mussel, a clam. Great job, Dean. Does anyone know the name of this creature that we called an underwater lizard? No. It's called a newt. Yeah. So it looks similar to the lizard, like Audrey said. But look at its tail. Can everybody see its tail? It can use that to swim, pushes the water back and forth. Lizards have thin tails. This does not. Yeah, Cadence?
The newt's tail's like a sea snake.
Yeah, sort of. It's like a paddle, isn't it? Okay. We have some more creatures that live inside of the water. Who knows what any of these creatures are? Julia, what creatures do you see? Name one.
I think one of them is a turtle.
Yeah, we've got our snapping turtle in the left top. Dean, what do you see?
I think I see a tiny underwater snail with a large and wide body and a tiny and thin head.
Yeah, this is a snail. Great job, Dean. And Audrey, what is our last creature?
The last one is a shell.
Oh, that shell down at the bottom, that's actually a snail. The snail lives inside of its shell, protects it. What's this black thing up in the top right-hand corner? Does anyone know its name? Elin?
I think it's a sea worm, but
These live in fresh water. They're called leeches. Yeah. So sea worms exist in salt water. This lives in the fresh water. It doesn't have the salt. Great job, everybody. So we just learned that we don't want to use a ton of water because then our creatures that live in it wouldn't have a home. We also want to be careful not to pollute our water because then we make their home dirty. We are going to do an activity where we play with fake polluted water. And then we're going to try to filter it. Does that sound good? Okay. For this activity, we're going to need our bottle. We are going to need a parent's help with our bottle. We want to cut off the neck. So we need our parents' help because we want to have the bottom neck portion of our bottle. So what I'm going to do is, parents, I'm cutting a hole right here. I'm going to cut around the bottom of my bottle. I want this whole bottom portion to use. Elin, great job. So we were cutting off the neck of our bottle. This is what we're going to make our filter inside of. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. That way everybody has their bottle cut. If you have your bottle cut, we're going to try to balance it on our head while we wait. So we're cutting off the top of our bottle and we're going to balance it on our head while we wait. Can you move around as you balance it? Great job, everybody. Dean, do you have a parent helping you cut your bottle? Excellent. I can see that someone's working on that. We are going to be making our filter inside of this bottle. But our filter has to be used to clean polluted water. So we're going to tell a story and make polluted water as we go. I'm going to take a cup. I'm going to pour some nice clean water into it. So I'm pouring some water into my cup. The nice clean water is how we want all of our water to look. But life activities sometimes get in the way. Sometimes what you do every day makes dirty water. Maybe you put some fertilizer on your yard. That way it grows nice and green. Does everybody have some sauce, like some mustard that they can use? We're going to put a little bit of our mustard inside of our cup to represent fertilizer. So when you put fertilizer, some plant food on your grass, and it spills off, it will end up in the water. When you water your lawn, it also washes that fertilizer away. And it ends up in the streams. So we're going to put our mustard in our cup. Yes, Audrey.
So we didn't want to get our actually drinking cups dirty, so we need to get clear cups. So it's gonna take us longer.
Okay. Excellent. I see that we've got some mustard in our cup. Dean, you're raising your hand. Want to unmute?
Are we supposed to use this cup?
No, we're putting that to the side. We have to make something we're going to filter with this first. So I've got a big cup.
Oh, we need another big cup. Teacher, use it this one.
We don't want to use that one. We're going to filter our water into that. Yeah, we want to try to clean the water after we make it dirty.
Another big cup.
Yep.
And pour some water in there.
Excellent. Great job. So our water. Yes, Elin.
Can I make an observation?
Yes, please do.
Mine just kind of sinks to the bottom of the water.
Yeah. Does this mean it's dense or buoyant?
Good.
Yes, Elin, it is. It's very dense. Great job. Okay. We're now going to take out our pepper. When your dog goes to the bathroom outside and then it rains, some of his poop's going to be flushed away as well. And it might end up inside the river. Let's pour some of our pepper into our cup. Our water is becoming more and more polluted, isn't it? Yeah. Next, we're going to think about what happens when we wash dishes. So you ate some dinner and your plate is dirty. You go over to the sink, you're going to wash it off. Out comes all of your food down into the drain. Let's pour some vinegar into our cup to represent the food that we just poured down the drain. Whatever drink we had ended up down the drain and polluting our water. I'm going to give Elin a little bit longer to get back. I think she went to go get vinegar. Does our water look very clean right now? No. Elin, you're raising your hand?
Can it do rice vinegar?
That will work. No, all of our daily activities were polluting our water. Yeah. We can see and smell our water and notice that it changed. It's not clean anymore, is it? No. Okay. We're now going to take out our oil. Maybe you take a shower and you clean off your body. All the oil from your skin and your hair goes down the drain. And it ends up in your water as well. Our water's looking pretty gross, isn't it? Elin, yeah?
Do I pour the vinegar in or no?
Yes. Pour some vinegar. That was for our food waste because it's really acidic. Then we put some oil. Who wants to share their observations about what just happened to their cup of water? Cadence.
It got even more polluted.
Yep. There's more things that aren't pure water in there. It's more polluted. Audrey.
I noticed that
but not as higher. And I noticed that it kind of got more dirty and the pepper kind of got more out.
Yes. So you're telling me that the pepper floats on top of your oil layer that floats on top of your water. Great observation, Audrey. Julia, you want to share?
So when I smell my cup of water, it smells bad.
Yeah. It
Some of my
does.
peanut butter's just sunk.
Yeah, polluted water doesn't smell very good. Probably smells like vinegar, doesn't it? Yeah. Elin, what's your observation?
When I poured the vinegar in, it made like kind of like a giant bubble.
Yeah. So our vinegar doesn't want to mix with the oil. And the oil doesn't want to mix with the water. Great job. We're now going to make our filter. So when you pour things down the drain, you really hope that it's getting filtered. Because you don't want to drink this, do you? No. So just our one person's activities made some really gooey water, some really polluted water. But think of what happens if everybody uses water. Every single person is going to make it more polluted. The reason why when you pour water out of the faucet, it doesn't look like that, it's because it's filtered. We're going to design a filter next. So this is going to be what holds all of our filtering materials. We're going to put them inside. I'm going to tell us what we can use to design our filter. We can use our cotton balls. We can use our coffee filter. We can use our rocks and sand. And if you have any paper or paper towels near you, you can use those as well. You can cut all of these supplies in any way that you think you need to in order to fit them into the top of your bottle. We are going to pour the water through our filter and try to clean it. Cadence, you want to share?
How can we cut stuff with the supplies if there isn't supplies called scissors?
Yep, that is a tool that we need. We don't want to add our scissors into our filter though. Do not put your scissors inside there. I think it's going to filter, okay?
What are we supposed to do with the stuff that you just showed us?
We are making a filter. We can put all these materials inside of the top of our bottle.
Oh.
And we're then going to pour our water through it in a little bit together. We're going to see if it actually filters our water. We want to think really hard about how much of each supply we use and what order we put them in. Elin.
Are we designing it ourselves or are we watching? Okay.
Yep, you're going to design it yourself. Then we're going to come back together. We're going to discuss what we made. Then we're going to test it. So I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes to think about what they're going to use for their filter and make their filter. We have 3 minutes left to make our filter. We should start thinking about finishing our filter now. Okay, does anyone want to start sharing? Be the first person to share what they made? Elin does. I'm going to spotlight your video. You can tell us what you made for your filter.
So what I did is I put the cotton ball at the bottom, then put some sand, then some rocks, then then I put some more rocks and sand over it.
Ooh. I wonder if yours is going to be the best filter. We're all going to test our filters after we share. Does anyone else want to share their filters? Audrey does. I'm going to spotlight your video.
I put some cotton balls in, and then I put rocks in, and then after that, I put paper in, and then after I put it in, then I put sand in.
And you started with a coffee filter?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your filter with us, Audrey. Cadence wants to share.
So I put a cotton ball at the neck, at the neck, and then I put rocks down, and then sand, and then rocks and sand, and then rocks, and then I'm putting the coffee filter on, and then some more sand on top.
Now that's 3 different filters. I wonder which one's going to work the best. Dean, you want to share next?
So how I made it so it's that so we screwed on the cabbage and put some cotton balls on the bottom, and I also put a cotton ball under so we can scrub off some of the things. Yeah, and I put some things that can sprinkle on top as the soap, and I use some rocks as the water and some paper to dry it.
Ooh, thank you.
And then some more.
Thank you for sharing your filter with me. And Julia, did you want to go and tell us about your filter?
So I put a little piece of cotton at the very bottom, and then I add this kind of paper on top.
You put coffee filter.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you all for sharing your filter with me. What we're going to do is we are going to take out our tiny little cups. We also need a spoon.
does it need to be a plastic or a metal spoon?
It doesn't matter. We're just going to mix with it. We are going to put our glass of dirty water inside of our bowl. We're going to mix it up really well. Once we've mixed our water, we're going to take 1 cup of our water, put it in our tiny little cup. So I'm scooping out 1 cup of our dirty, polluted water. I'm going to set it inside my bowl. We are going to compare our water to this cup later on. We're going to see if we clean our water. So we're taking 1 cup of our dirty water and putting it to the side. 1 tiny cup of dirty water. Dean.
I just want to tell you that these cups I flip over looks a lot like safety cones.
Yeah, they stick together, huh?
Yeah, they also look like safety cones.
They sort of do. Thank you for that observation. Thank you, Dean. Does everybody have 1 cup of dirty water that they put to the side? Excellent. We are now going to pick up our filter. We're going to put it over the bottom of our bottle that we already cut. We're going to hold this over our bowl while we pour our water into our filter. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pour into my filter my dirty water. I want to make sure it's over my bowl. We want to see if we filter any of our water. If your cap is still on your bottle, make sure you take it off. So I'm pouring my polluted water into my filter. And I'm watching how water comes out the bottom. I have to pour mine really slowly. That way I don't overflow. And water is coming out the bottom very slowly. I'm going to keep pouring till I run out of water inside my glass. So I end up with water that's moving through my filter to the bottom of my bottle. Cadence, you want to share with us something?
my filter it just comes out with a tiny bit of yellow water.
Ooh, so your filter's working?
Yeah, but it's dripping super duper slow.
Yeah, because it has to pass through everything that you put in the top.
I could have done less rocks and sand, and that would have probably let it go a bit faster and a bit less and put some paper in and a bit less of cotton.
So our goal was to clean our water. Sometimes that's a slow process. Cadence just saw that a really good filter, normally it'll take a long time for our water to move through. Audrey, you were raising your hand and want to share?
When it was going through, it actually started a little fast, but then it started going slower after. And it actually made the water cleaner.
Yeah, so your filter worked too. Dean, you're raising your virtual hand.
So what I wanted to show you, so it's then my words, it kind of drips really slow, and my water comes out super clean.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner than the polluted water that we put in. So our filter worked. Elin?
Mine is like really clear water, but it has like a tad of yellow, but it's mostly like clear, and it like doesn't have any of like the pepper or like anything else.
Great job. Elin's filter also worked. Julia?
My filter worked, except that I don't know why, but the cotton fell inside the bottle.
Oh, I think the mouth of your bottle was bigger than your cotton ball.
Oh,
Yeah. So we just saw that when we filter our water, it looks better. We are going to test it chemically to see if it really is any cleaner. What we need to do is we need to get out our tiny strips of paper. These are called pH indicators. They tell us how acidic something is. We're going to take one pH indicator out of our tiny baggie. And we are going to dip it into our dirty, polluted water. We're going to pull it back out. We're going to look at it. Who wants to tell me what color the bottom of their pH indicator has on it now that you dipped it in your dirty, polluted water? Audrey, what color is it?
It is like purplish.
no, it's like reddish brown.
Yeah, it's like reddish brown, but a little purple.
Yeah.
She
We can
Keelan's
see
was
that things that are really dark
Sure.
are going to end up as really acidic. So we're seeing that our polluted water is really dirty and it has a lot of that vinegar in there. Yeah, we poured the vinegar in. We know that it's in there. We're now going to take our pH indicator strip and we're going to try to dump it into our newly cleaned water. So we're taking our pH strip, we're going to dip it into our new clean water. We're going to look at it. What do we see in our new strip? Elin?
It looks the exact same as the normal strip, just a teeny bit darker.
Ooh, so our filter worked then. We filtered out most of the vinegar and only a little bit was left then. Dean, what do you see?
So then I see, so all the rest turning to same yellow. So it's the rest turning all same yellow, but the single one is staying orange.
Yeah. So our water that passed through our filter is fairly neutral. Means it's clean and without a lot of our pollutants. Audrey, you want to share?
Mine, when I put this in, then it actually made it a little lighter on the second time I did it.
Ooh. Yeah. So your water wasn't mixed thoroughly. That means some parts of it had more pollutants than others. Great observation, Audrey. So we can see that our filter does help us clean out some of the dirty things that are in our water, but it doesn't clean them all out. This is why it's important for us to keep the water clean, to use very little water as well. We're going to do our last activity together. What we're going to need is our pond water sample. We're going to need our small microscope. What we are going to do is we are going to use our microscope to look at our pond water. Let's look in our supplies. What's inside of our bag right now? Ewan? Yeah, what's inside of your bag? Oh, you're muted.
So I still have some more cotton balls, and I have some more rubber. I have rubber bands and some cups.
Yes, you've got rubber bands. You've got leftover supplies from your filter. Who else sees something inside of their bag? Julia, what's inside of your bag?
I see an extra pipette.
A pipette. Yes. Our pipette is going to be used to pick up water. Who remembers how to use a pipette? Audrey, you want to share how to use a pipette? You have to unmute yourself.
I know how to use a pipette because all the times we've done it, I've practiced.
Yeah.
And how you use a pipette is you squeeze water into it, and then if you want to dump it out, you squeeze it again.
Great job, Audrey. So she just told us that we squeeze our pipette. We can use it to suck water in when we release. We squeeze again. That's our water. We should have some small pieces of plastic inside of our Ziploc baggie as well. Does everybody have small pieces of plastic? Yeah. I see that Cadence and Elinda do. Okay. What we are going to do is we are going to cut that small piece of plastic. What we need to do is we need to cut a square of it. Here's one square. I want to then make another square the same size. So I now have 2 pieces of plastic. We are going to put 1 drop of water, of our pond water, onto our piece of plastic. And we're going to put our other piece of plastic over it, like a sandwich. So I'm picking up one of my pieces of plastic. I'm going to put one drop of water on there. I'm going to put my other piece of plastic on top like a sandwich. Our microscope is going to help us so we can see small things that are inside of our water. I would like us to try using it both ways before we settle on the correct way. So we can try using it with the clear side down. Then we can try using it with our large side down. We're going to look through and see if we can see anything. So I'm putting my microscope onto my new piece of plastic sandwich. I'm going to look in there. Yes, Elin.
When I like see it, all I see is kind of like just black.
Ooh. So maybe we're looking at dirt. So we can try using our microscope both ways. We can put our large side against our eye and look. We can then put the small side against our eye and look. We have lenses on both sides of our microscope. Whichever side you look through will change what you see. The proper way to use a small hand microscope like this one would be to put the big side against your eye. Put your clear side against your plastic sample called your slide. And then we're going to look through. This microscope is not very strong. It means it's going to be sort of hard to see really small things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 YouTube videos in the comments here. These YouTube videos are really interesting. I would suggest that everybody looks at them after we're done with class. These creatures live inside of the water. These YouTube videos will help you so you can see a whole bunch of creatures that you can't see with just your eye, that live in the water all the time. When we filter our water, it's not only for the waste, like the oils from our skin and the dog poop. It's also for these creatures. You don't want to drink them. We have 1 minute left of class. So we're going to go around and we're going to say what our favorite thing out of all the weeks we've been together was. Elin, you want to start?
Mine was probably this one because I liked building the filter.
Ooh, guess what? You probably have more supplies, so you can try doing it again. You can try with supplies from your house too. Dean, what was your favorite activity?
My favorite activity was when we did the bubble.
The bubbles were very fun.
And very exciting.
Yeah, I also enjoyed that, Dean. Audrey, what was your favorite activity?
My favorite activity was when we looked at the sandwich samples with the microscope.
Yeah, you liked making slides of pond water If you have a pond near you or a fish tank, I would suggest trying to look at that.
We have a fish.
Yeah, then you have water that your fish lives in. Try looking at it. It's really
He
interesting.
filters the water for our plants.
Yep. The plants filter the water for your fish.
And and his poop filters the plant.
Julia, do you want to state what your favorite activity we've done together is?
My favorite activity is probably making the filter. And also, I have a question.
Yeah.
What are the salts for? Like the salt and the rubber bands for?
The salt is that way you can try this again and try filtering another polluted set of water. And your rubber band, so that way you can keep all your supplies that you've already had together. That way, when you want to make another polluted amount of water and try to filter it, you have all the supplies. And Cadence, did you want to share what your favorite activity was as well?
My favorite activity was the making our fresh filtering our water. And since we have these extra cups, we could serve our fresh water in them.
So thank you all for doing science with me. I had a lot of fun on all of our Wednesdays we've been together. This was it for science, for our water wonders. I hope you all have a lot of fun playing with all the things that we've made. And I hope you all continue doing science, even inside of your own house. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.